Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about should you invest or save for a house. Now, this is a very common question for new investors. Should you invest or save for a house? You see, in the UK, we have a obsession, somewhat a fetish for owning a home. It's deeply ingrained in our culture. It symbolizes adulthood. It symbolizes being a grown up, and everybody from our nans to our mom to our dad to our cousins to our uncles push it on us to be the king or queen of your castle. The majority of us Brits, we see home ownership as investment opportunities. Now, if you compare that to our European friends such as France, Germany, they don't see it like that. They're more into renting. But I do get why buying a house is pushed on us so heavily. The reason is because if you look at property prices, they've massively increased over the last 30 years. Like 30 years ago, your dad probably bought a house for like £30, and now it's like 30 million. The increase in housing in the UK is absolutely stupid, especially in London. London is what is it, 16 times your salary? That's just crazy. So of course people are going to push it on you because it's made so many people a lot of money accidentally. Literally, you could have been a monkey 15 years ago, bought a house in London, and you're a millionaire now. So you can't really blame all the people that push it on us because they've seen such crazy capital appreciation. But the problem for us young people is that buying your first home in the UK is often seen as a race against the price because the prices are always rising, and it seems like you're on this uphill battle to get on top of it, which makes a lot of people in the working force in the UK anxious because people want to get on that property ladder, but it's difficult to save for the deposit. It's difficult to get a loan to even buy a house. And our obsession with buying a house and everybody else telling us to buy a house basically means we are working with the sole goal of buying a house and obviously partying on a Saturday night. So when you get into the world of investing, the most common question is, should I invest or should I just save up to buy a house? Now, I would say that's a personal choice, but I would also ask, why are you investing? What is the reason? Because if you're investing to have a source of income for when you're older, then yes, that should be your primary goal. As well as buying a house. You see, you don't have to just focus on one aspect. You can focus on both. You can split your contribution 50-50. You can split it 70-30, however you like. But if your long-term goal for investing is to have a source of income, then it makes more sense to put 70% of your money towards buying a house, because that's going to be in the immediate future, while 30% being contributed to your investment portfolio, letting that grow over time, and then having an income to support you when you're older. But if your reason for investing is to buy a house in 5, 7 or 10 years time, then go all in investing. Everything you got, put it in investments, because that money is going to be your deposit money later down the line. So the question shouldn't be, should I invest or should I save up for a house? Because investing is putting your money into a vehicle to give you a return. Now, you could either invest in property such as REITs or a buy to let, but if you are going to buy a house for you to live in, then technically that's not really an investment. It's not really an asset. I mean, it is an asset and an investment. If you remortgage or you sell your house, then and it appreciates. But if you don't sell your house and you do not remortgage, then it's not really an asset because it's not generating your income. It's more of a liability because it's costing you the mortgage and maintenance to upkeep. But of course, I do believe that everybody should get on the property ladder and have one house. See, if it was down to me, I would have in property investment banned. Personally, I wouldn't think that you should invest in property to make money. I think it's a lazy way of making money. To me, I think you should use investments or business to make your money, while a house should be somewhere you live in. So I think one house per person per name. One house per person. But obviously that's not the reality, so let's talk about the reality. The reality is you don't have to choose whether you want to invest or whether you want to save up for a house, because you could split your income accordingly. So you could split your income, put a certain percentage towards buying a house and a certain percentage towards investing for your long-term future. But if your goal is to buy a house in 5-10 years time, then you might as well just put all that money into investments. But if your goal is to buy a house within the next 5 years, then no, I would not advise you to put your money into stocks and shares. What I would advise you to do is open a lifetime ISA or a LISA and put your money in there, because you can put £4,000 into a lifetime ISA and the government will give you £1,000 on top. So if you were to buy a house in 5 years time, in theory you could put 16 grand into your in theory you could put 20 grand into your lifetime ISA over 5 years, and the government will put 5 grand as a top up. So you would have 25 grand for your house deposit, which seems like a no-brainer. But if your goal is to buy a house in 10 years time, 15 years time, I'll say the same thing. Put your money in a lifetime ISA, because if you can put 4 grand every year, the government's going to put a grand in. So you're just collecting 10-15 grand to add to your pot. But there are strict rules and stipulations. So if you're like me and you don't like having all these rules and restrictions, then I'll just put it in the stock market. Because if you plan to buy a house in 10-15 years time, buy it in the stock market, let it do its stuff, and you'll get a good fat return. So hopefully that answered the question. If it did, or if you have any questions to ask, then let me know in the comments. If you like the video, then give it a like, subscribe, and take care.